Now, earlier this week, we did an exclusive interview with Archie Norman, the chairman of Marks and Spencer's, and he spoke to us about his thoughts on inflation in the UK, and this is what he had to say. There's obviously a massive controversy at the moment about food inflation and the prices in the shops, and people are saying that retailers are profiteering on food, and the government have proposed a cap on food prices. What do you make of what the government proposed, and why is food inflation so high?
We all know why food inflation is high. We had a macro disruption with the Ukraine, the pandemic supply chain disruptions, which resulted in the price of gas, of oil, of wheat, of freight rates all going through the roof. That was nothing to do with the UK. It was what happened in the globe and affected all countries. Now, what is a little bit different here is that we got more knock-on effects from that. That's substantially because we've had a devaluation, so imported prices carry on going up. Also because we were more dependent on gas than other countries. And also because we pushed up wages at a time when labour is scarce. So we put up the minimum wage, and I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do, but the minimum wage went up 10%. So 1 million retail workers effectively have got a significant wage increase. That's all been passed on to growers, to producers, so their costs are continuing to go up. So now we've got a higher rate of inflation than other countries, but it'll come down. The funny thing about this price cap idea is it was launched just at the time when it was a price cap on essentials was the idea. All the essential prices started to come down. The price cap would probably stop them coming down. So price of butter is coming down, price of bread is coming down, price of vegetable oil is coming down, price of pasta is coming down.
Why do you think it took the Bank of England and politicians by surprise, food inflation and food inflation staying stubbornly high?
I don't think people understand the anatomy of inflation. I don't think putting up interest rates will make one jot of a difference to inflation. I think all it'll do is reduce investment and employment. That's the way it was intended to do. Which is not what we need, and I think the government, understandably, inflation is a genuine problem for people. It's a problem for politicians too, and they're looking round for weaponry. Unfortunately, because it's driven by these macro factors, there ain't a lot you can do other than bear down on public sector wages, which they're doing their best to do. There's not a lot you can do. You have to let it wash through the economy and not panic and manage expectations. So I think inflation, there's a good chance inflation will be down to 5-6% by the autumn. It could be lower than that. And then we'll wash through gradually over the next 3 or 4 years to very acceptable levels. It's not actually our problem. Inflation is not our problem in this country. It is a problem for households, of course, but the real problem is productivity, investment and growth.
Coming back to M&S, I read in the paper that M&S were selling one steak at a time on the shelves. They're having one steak on display at a time because of shoplifting, which seemed like a very un-Archie thing to do. Is that really true? Is that really happening in M&S?
I think it really happened in one shop for one day. As soon as Stuart Mach and the team heard about it, that was the end of that. No, because it's a terrible idea. It's an interesting thing that shoplifting and shop theft has increased across the industry in the last 2 or 3 years. So everybody's struggling with this. And of course, M&S steak, M&S beef is all traceable back to the farm, Aberdeen Angus beef. If you're a shoplifter, it's the product of choice. You take that down to the pub and everybody's going to pay a premium for it. So we do have a problem with steak, but no, the wrong way to deal with that is to take it off sale. We want to grow our sales, and that's not going to happen.